Of course, I will be running for President of the Republic of Kenya in 2027. It is now quite evident that there ought to be an alternative to Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And you can see my cousins, Baba's other sons, are quite determined to ensure that he's saddled at the continental level instead of coming here. And if Baba doesn't want to do it, some of us will do it.
Mheshimiwa Kagere.
Thank you, Olive. First of all, allow me to say that none of us on this table has the capacity to speak on behalf of ODM, not even Harvey. And, I think the reason why political parties are formed is to capture power. And when political parties are formed, they go for the seat from the lowest to the highest, the president. So, as a party, and I'm speaking as somebody who has been a Secretary General of a political party before, every party's interest is to capture power. So whatever the Orange Democratic Movement is doing by recruiting, collaborating, is about capturing power. But I don't think the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has said that he'll be running for president. He has not said. His party has the right to do whatever they want to do to capture power. In my view, I believe that every political party must strengthen themselves. All the political parties, whether in opposition or government, must strengthen themselves democratically in preparation for the 2027. That's what progressive parties are doing now. And I want to urge those who believe in democratic principles and subscribe to the basic requirements of political parties to do the same, because we want to change the country, but you cannot change the country without the tools of change. One of the tools of change is the political parties. And therefore, I encourage political parties to rethink of how to approach the 2027. I've seen a lot of people trying to project their candidature. I have seen Kiom Tata. I saw my good friend Harvey also asking if people would allow him. And I wish him the best. I wish him the best. But I would encourage Harvey also to tell us what is his political party, so that we start gauging him on the basis of his party, ideology of his party. You know?
It's MP's bid to block job cuts in civil service.
That's the nation standard.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Certainly, first, Olive, let me start by saying we are experiencing the 16 days of GBV activism. So first, let me start by stating that as women leaders, as every Kenyan, we must stand up against GBV. That said, let me now comment on the headline today, ODM in Ruto dilemma. And I must state, we are all in politics. And any political leader has ambitions. So even for Raila Odinga to say he'll be back on the ballot in 2027, I think is his right, because he's been a leader who has always had ambitions.
Has he said that he will be back on the ballot? My understanding is, according to this report by The Nation, is that he says ODM will join State House race in 2027.
Whichever the way he's allowed, and it's his democratic right, whether he wants to go in for it as president or he wants to go in as a supporter of His Excellency William Ruto. But also let's remember, he's also a candidate for the AU chairmanship, and our prayer and our hope is that he gets to win the seat, because a win for his Honorable Raila Odinga is also a win for Kenya. So my prayer and hope is that he actually wins the seat.
All right.
You know, I'm a Catholic. And for me, sometimes I find it very sad that the priest and the king will be in such conflict that even in the Bible is not a good thing. That indeed in the Bible, the king was to be blessed by the priest. And so the biggest challenge we face is that how the priest came to find themselves so comfortable with the king, they should also ask themselves. It was very wrong, and that is why we are in this conflict. And I'm hoping in many elections to come, God keep me, that it will never happen again, that the church will just go very in the middle of governments. The church has to come and now be able, when governments are in crisis like this, if the church was neutral, today we would be finding the country move. But you see, you have a congregation who also wakes up and votes. Now, the issue of Soweto is very, very sad because, one, the first monies that were given were for the choir. It was not for the priest. So I doubt whether the choir will return the money. Let's start from there. They will be questioning. And so that's another thing, you see. And even if you force them, you leave them with something in the heart. They will start questioning so many things because who is the church? The church is the congregation of us who go to church. And we must take care of our churches. And for me, what I'll tell even politicians today, even myself, which I do, is that if you want to give to the church, let us stop taking this thing of money. Take the equipment they've asked you. Buy it and take it. Let us stop from now going, don't take money. Just, if it is cement, carry a lorry of cement, and you will know, I have donated my cement. I will see it on the wall. And at that time, if I do that, I will share it, because in our churches we have jumuiyas. I will share it with my jumuiyas. I will say the monies we were supposed to remove as jumuiyas, per jumuiya was this amount. And because I've brought in this, all jumuiyas, now we have lessened our burden, we can now contribute this. Mm-hmm. Let politicians do that. And let us now start going to our churches.
Okay.
Yes, they invite you, and you know the most challenging part of all this is, as much as you'll want to keep off, they say, like now I have so many invitations. I'm wondering, what do you tell our people? How do you tell it? So I want also my bishops, and I'm asking them in a very humble way, tell the congregation what they need to do. Mm-hmm. Yes, because if a jumuiya sends me a card and everything, it is the same money. I don't know how you will get the source. But now if I take it to my jumuiya, how will you'll still receive it at the end, at the top.
Okay.
So I want to say from today, all of us in parliament, go to church. The day you go to church, if a harambe starts, stop it. Because you did not come that day for a harambe, which I normally do. Uh-huh. I normally say, but I didn't come for a harambe. I have come, I have sat behind. I had come to be blessed the way you are being blessed,
right,
so that my week becomes a week like any other.
Okay.
But then, if you want a harambe, bring me your BQ. I will pick one item as a Christian, and I will send it as a Christian. In that item, I will send it as what you need.
All right.
Yes.
The standard is that they're not, there really isn't consensus on whether to back William Ruto in 2027 or field their own candidate. What is the current setup we have? It's been described as a broad-based government. William Ruto described the arrangement that Uhuru Kenyatta entered into with Raila Odinga previously as a mongrel. How would you define the current arrangement?
I would define the current arrangement as when you put the country first and put your interests second. Because we found ourselves in a situation as a country where we required to all come together and find a solution of the current problems we were having then. And I believe for ODM to have come into the government, and just like Joho stated recently, I think it was the day before yesterday, where he said that we've all been shouting and claiming what the government isn't doing right. But there comes a time where you also seek to be inside that government and do what is that you've been saying needs to be done by the government. So I believe for us to have the broad-based government at the moment, it was for us to come and salvage a country that was in a situation where we required everybody's ideas on board for the country to progress. Because Oliver, as I keep saying, if the country burns, it's not going to burn at Jane Kagiri's house only. It's going to burn at every person's house in this country. So for ODM to have come in, Azimio to have come in and partnered with us, or rather let me say ODM because it's not Azimio that came in, I believe it was for us to salvage the country and for us to progress the country together.
All right. Well